when we talk about that, CDNs were not able to handle this, emerging new workload. What is it the size of data? Is it the kind of data? Is it the quality of data? Is it because too much back and forth? Because companies now just gathering data, they are extracting value and they are immediately sending the value back to the customers as well. So can you also talk about how the data landscape itself has evolved and which also is creating, new opportunities for Macrometa?
That genuinely is the $1 billion question. And I think you alluded to it in your question itself. The quality and the nature of data has changed over the last 10 years. If you go back 15 years, let's jump into a time machine, go back 15 years and you sort of go to the early days of the web, you notice that the web is mostly static. It's only for publishing information. And then it was only in the last maybe 12 years or 10 years that we started to make the web interactive. So data started to go back and forth between users and the cloud, or the backend, as we used to call it. And then over the last 10 years, we've seen the adoption of cloud and the complete transformation of the backend into microservices, into APIs and things like that, right? So this transformation has created a lot of richness in the way we can construct apps. And that's primarily happened because we've started to leverage dynamic HTML technologies, JavaScript, et cetera, extensively. But the flip side of that is CDNs have historically only handled published data or static content, as it's called, things that don't change. But the nature of data today is it's changing every second, every minute. When we go to a website or open our apps, we expect them to be instantaneous. We expect them to know who we are. And we expect them to be able to help us get our jobs done as quickly as possible, as easily as possible. And so CDNs still have a role to play, but that role has diminished over the years. And the role of the cloud has grown as a result of that. And there's now a gap in the market for an infrastructure like the CDN, but with more cloud-like capabilities where you can run stateful computing, you can bring data and you can bring AI and run it on a network of locations around the world like a CDN does, but specifically for these types of new cloud-native apps and APIs. So that's the big shift that has happened in the industry over the last 10, 15 years.
How does Macrometa help bridge that gap?
Macrometa has invested the last 5 to 7 years building a proprietary real-time stack that combines a global data network that we have constructed, a proprietary technology that allows us to bring data to thousands and thousands of locations around the world and keep it in sync. So as an example, today global supply chains, kind of spread the world. So if somebody makes an update to an order in New Delhi, that order has to be instantaneously available in New York. So the ability to have data be instantly available in thousands of locations around the world is what the global data network provides. And on top of that, we have brought some new innovations to the edge. We've brought the first language transformers and generative AI capabilities to help website operators take their existing websites and use generative AI and machine learning to automatically optimize their site performance by improving the performance of JavaScript and HTML. So think about it as essentially what Macrometa has done is essentially built an AI performance engine that runs in hundreds of locations around the world. And every time somebody accesses an app or a site, it's able to, in real time, pull the data, optimize it, and deliver it in 50 milliseconds or less anywhere in the world. And 50 milliseconds is an important threshold, Swapnil, because the human brain can't detect change under 80 milliseconds. So if something happens under 80 milliseconds, it feels like it's instantaneous to us. And so what Macrometa does is really make your sites and apps really feel like they're instantaneous, even though they might be running in a cloud data center very far away, or there may be very complex computations that are happening that require more processing and time to be able to deliver. So it kind of compresses time and accelerates all of this and delivers it in a very seamless way, all without code changes. And that's the most important thing, which is our customers don't need to make any code changes. They simply connect us to their existing infrastructure. And our platform, Photonic, which is the edge delivering network, can do this seamlessly for them.